heed of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. So the Most High said, walk in the presence of the light thereof, that you may be illuminated. So the Most High is telling you that we are the real Illuminati. Yeah, we the real Illuminati. We the real illuminated ones on the right-hand side. We are the righteous one. And then you have the wicked left-hand side Illuminati, which is that 666 side. It's what your basketball players and your football players and your all your artists are out there being a partake of. That's devil worship, because who's of the Illuminati on the left hand side? The so-called, which are the Edomites, your Rothschilds and your what's that? Bomber burgers, your got J.B. Morgans and all them, those 13 rich families, those Jewish Edomite families, that's the Illuminati, that's the Masonry wicked Illuminati. They have knowledge, but they have knowledge to wickedness. And we are the illuminated ones on the right-hand side, because we have knowledge unto righteousness, which is the law, statutes, commandments. And to understand this word is to be illuminated. That means the Spirit of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is dealing with you, and he have you walking this thing out, and you doing what you should be doing, according to the grace of the Most High. Read that again, Baruch 4:2. Turn thee, O Jacob, which is you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and take heed of it. It's talking about take heed of these law, statutes, commandments. Walk in the presence of the light thereof. We just found out that the commandments is a lamp and the law is a light. So we got to walk in the commandments and in the law of the Most High. It says, walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayst be illuminated. And that's how you're going to be illuminated. That's how you're going to have life in you. That's how you're going to have a light in you. They're going to look at you and tell that you're different. It's a lot of people, man, they do wicked stuff, man, and they don't ask me if I want to go with them to do this or do that. They don't ask me if I want to ride with them to smoke blunts, if I want to go with them to make a drug deal. They don't ask me if I want a bacon egger, if I want some pork chops or some shrimp. They don't ask me that, because they see the light in me. They see me illuminated. They see me rehearsing these law, statutes, commandments. Let me see. Let's go to Psalms 19:8. Let's go there. Psalms 19:8. And it reads, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 7. Psalms 19:7. The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple. So when you begin to rehearse these law, statutes, commandments, you begin to come wise. Your soul begin to be converted. You go from evil and wicked to righteous and upright with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. All right, and it says, making the wise. Hold on. And the testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple. So, like me, I was a simple nigga. I was a simple nigga. But when I got into this word and began to rehearse these law, statutes, commandments and apply it to my life, let the commandments be a lamp unto my feet and the law a light, I went from being a simple nigga to being a wise man. I went from being a simple nigga to being a wise man when I began to rehearse these law, statutes, commandments and begin to call on the name Yahweh, which is the Father and the Son's name, Yahweh Shah. So I began to show him that I love him, and he began to make me wise. He gave me the strength and the spirit, his spirit, the Holy Spirit, that we call Quadash, to be able to keep these law, statutes, commandments, to be able to understand this word and deliver it unto you. Verse 8, Psalms 19:8. The statutes of Yahweh are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of Yahweh is pure, enlightening enlightening the eyes. See, the commandments of Yahweh is pure, enlightening the eyes. So that means you begin to get light in your soul, enlightening the eyes. That means you can see wickedness afar away. You can walk, you can see somebody and just look at him like, yo, this man got demons on him, bro. I ain't even going around him. You know what I'm saying? So you begin to get enlightened in the eyes. You know, the Bible the Spirit of the Most High begin to lead and guide you. It's telling you don't go to the club tonight. You know what I'm saying? It's telling you when you're around people, it might be like, now it's the time to leave, and you just bounce and they come through shooting, or, you know, people begin to fight. I done been through that plenty of times where I was obedient to the Spirit. The Spirit's like, yo, you need to leave. And I'm like, yo, I'm gone, or I just walk off and bounce. And then what, they come through, do a drive-by or blah, blah, blah. That's because the Spirit of the Most High, by me rehearsing His law, statutes, commandments, became a light unto my eyes. That means my spirit begins to see, my soul begins to see. And the Spirit of the Most High begins to deal with me, lead and guide me, and talk to me. All right? Let's go to Psalms 119. Psalms 119 and 105. Psalms 119, chapter 119, verse 105. And that reads, Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. What do the Most High means by your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path? That means His word is what's guiding us. You know, and a light unto my path is telling you which way to go. The word of the Most High, His law, statutes, commandments is guiding you in His love. Read that again, Psalms 119:05. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So the Most High is, the Bible said, although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thou rod and thy staff, thou comfort me. So America, Babylon, spiritual Egypt and Sodom, which is America, this is the valley of the shadow of death. All right? The Most High law, statutes, commandments is that lamp and light that lead us through this darkness, through these evil and wicked and unrighteous people. His angels encamp around those that fear Him. Read it again. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. So the Most High is leading you and guiding you and dealing with you when you begin to rehearse His law, statutes, commandments, and call on His holy and righteous name. All right, let me read down some more. I like what's on here. Let me go ahead and read 105 and 107. It says, I have sworn, and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgments. So David saying, I promise you I'm going to keep your righteous, I'm going to keep your law, statutes, commandments. I'm going to do what you asked me to do. And that's why the Bible said David was a man after the Most High's heart. That's why the Most High dealt with David. Even when David committed adultery, the Most High had mercy on David. He got his judgment, but the Most High had mercy on him. He didn't take his life. He gave David grace before Yahushua even came. David got grace. David ate the showbread. So when you're rehearsing these law, statutes, commandments, man, of the Most High, He gonna give you grace when you do some ignorant things. You know what I'm saying? When you slip and fall and do some ignorant things, He's gonna be there to pick you up, man, and protect you. Verse 107. I am afflicted very much. Quicken me, O Yahweh, according unto thy word. So what do you mean by quicken me? Which means give me life, give me strength, according to thy word. So whatever the words say that the Most High was going to bless you with, that Yahweh was going to, these spiritual powers and all these things that we are going to get. Only people are just going to get these spiritual powers and these promises that the Bible has promised Israel is by rehearsing these law, statutes, commandments. If you're not rehearsing these law, statutes, commandments, you're not getting these promises. Only 1/3, only the 144,000, the elect in the 1/3 is going to receive these promises. All right, go with me to Revelations 11 and 8. And that read, it says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord Yahushua was what? Crucified. So that's America. This Babylon right here, this is spiritually called Sodom. Why is it spiritually called Sodom? Okay, this is one of the places in the world, the most homosexuals in the world is in America. All right, and then Obama signed what? Gay right marriages. That's that prophecy that came true in your face. When Obama signed the bill for homosexuals to be married, that was spiritual Sodom being fulfilled right there. That was that prophecy being fulfilled in your face. All right, when it says also called spiritual Egypt, look on back of your dollar. You got a pyramid. Everything in America is designed after Egypt anyway. Every house has an A-frame on every house, which is a pyramid. All your churches got a pyramid on top of all your churches, which is called a steeple. So this is spiritual Egypt. All right, and then it says where they crucify, where it says where also our Lord was crucified. So how was Yahushua crucified in America? In this spiritual Sodom, this spiritual Egypt. They paid him, they made him an Edomite. They gave you Jesus. They took Yahushua away and gave you Jesus. That's re-crucifying our Messiah. Because he's a so-called black man with hair like wool, as white as snow. And his eyes was red, because he liked wine, as a flaming fire. And his feet was bronze, as he had stepped out of a burning oven. He was real dark. So they crucified him by what? Giving him leprosy, blonde hair and blue eyes, making him an Edomite. That's re-crucifying. They crucified him by saying that they are God. You know, that they the Messiah. That they the chosen people. That's crucifying our Messiah, Yahushua, all over again. All right. So, and it says, and Revelations 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. That's talking about you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Y'all dead bodies are laying in these streets. What do you mean they dead bodies? You don't see no dead bodies. What do you mean they dead bodies? Because you're not rehearsing these law, statute, commandments. The law is life. The commandments are life. And if you're not rehearsing them, then you don't have no life in you. You are spiritually dead. You all are dead men walking. That church, all these churches are full of dead bodies. That's the valley of bones. All these mosques, all these temples, all these things are filled with dead bodies. If you're not rehearsing these law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, you're dead men walking. All right, now let's go to Proverbs 13 and 4. Proverbs 13 and 4. 14, I mean. Proverbs 13 and 14. And it says, the law of the wise is a fountain of life. The law of the wise is a fountain of life. So if you're not rehearsing these laws, statutes, commandments, you don't have no life. Because the law is the fountain of life. Yahushua said he said that up out of your belly should what? Flow a river of everlasting waters, or something in that form. You know, said righteous, everlasting water should spring up out their bellies. So that means the Spirit is going to give you life. You know, I didn't quote that. You know, I just rephrased it the way I wanted to, but I didn't fully quote it, as the Bible says. But it was saying that what Yahushua was saying, that the law is life. And what this is saying right here in Proverbs 13 and 14, the law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. So in order to not to escape or to escape death, order to not to be a part of these dead bodies or these bones in this valley, you got to rehearse these law, statutes, commandments, because that's the only life that you're going to get. You know, the word is the water, the everlasting water, which is the law, statutes, commandments. All right, let's go back to Baruch right quick. And I'm about to wrap it up in a second. Just give me a second. Baruch, let's start at 3. Baruch chapter 4, verse 3. Give not thy honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee, to a strange nation. So our honor is, rehearsing these laws, statutes, commandments, and teaching his word and doing what the Most High has commended us to do. So we giving our love to the Most High. And the Bible teaches us not to give this to strange gods or other people. Give not thy honor to another. We got to give our honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah and him alone. And to show him that you love him is what? Rehearsing these laws, statutes, commandments. Nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. What's profitable unto us? Our time. We got to give our time unto the Most High and do what he asks us to do. Verse 4, O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to Yahweh are made known unto us. So we should be happy because the things that's pleasing to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, is only made known unto us. We just went through Amos 3 and 7. We found out that he only deal with his prophets. And then we went to Amos 2 and 11 to find out the prophets is only the men of Israel, the children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Follow me to Luke right quick. The Gospel of Luke, chapter 1 and 79. Luke chapter 1 and 79. It says I'm going to start at, matter of fact, I'm going to start at Luke chapter 1, verse 78. Through the tender mercy of our power, whereby the day spring from on high had visited us. The day spring on high that had visited us was Yahweh Shai, which is the light. He's the way, the truth, and the light, in the life. Verse 79, to give light to them that sat in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. Listen to that. Luke chapter 1, verse 79 again. Luke chapter 1, verse 79. This is what Yahweh Shai came to do. To give light to them that sat in darkness. You know what it mean by those that sit in darkness is not rehearsing these laws, statutes, commandments. They doing what they want to do. They're not calling on Yahweh in his son named Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Shai came to give us light, to teach us of the Father, to tell us to continue. He said, what? Take up thy cross and follow me. So if you're going to follow Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai rehearsed the law, statutes, commandments. But he kept the law, statutes, commandments. He only asked you to rehearse them. That means to practice him. So if you're going to take up your cross and follow him, that means you got to keep these law, statutes, commandments. He says, to give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. Because most of everybody out here is sitting in darkness and in the shadow of death. Because we know that America is the valley of the shadow of death. So you're sitting in the shadow of death when you've been a partaker of this world. When you celebrating Christmas, Easter, and Thanksgiving, all these I can't even get the word now. All these vain holidays, all these wicked made up holidays. You know what I'm saying? So when you rehearsing these holidays and things of that nature, man, you in the shadow of death. When you love this world and part of this world, you in the shadow of death. But Yahweh Shai came to guide our feet into the way of peace. And the only way that you can have peace is by having Yahweh Shai. And the only way you can have Yahweh Shai, you got to accept the Father Yahweh, and you got to get to the Father through Yahweh Shai the Son. So that means you got to rehearse these laws, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. All right? I'm going to go ahead and read verse 80. It says, and the child grew and waxed strong in spirit and was in the desert till the day of his showing unto Israel. That's talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, let's go to Romans 13, and I'm going to end with this. Romans 13, verse 11. And I might read through 14. Verse 11. It says, in that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. So what do you mean by now is time is a high time to awake out of sleep? You know, now it's time to come up out of these different religions. You know, now it's time to stop calling on these false gods. You know, now it's time to come back to the Father Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. It's time to wake up, people. It's time to realize that you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Hebrew Israelites. You know? And that this Bible is not a religion. It's an inheritance unto you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, this is our history book. This is the lamp and the light and the life unto our life. He says, for now is our salvation nearer than we believed. See, our salvation is nearer now than we believe, because you see what's going on in the world. You see it's about to be a World War III. They're over there in Iran messing. You see they still got they still protesting up there in Italy, excuse me, in Britain, in Chile. They got protesters going on all around the world, man. And the yellow coats been up there in Britain for months now, protesting every single day. And we see what's going on in America. You know, America is falling. You know, the dollar is losing value. You know, they got this RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast they're about to make mandatory to everybody. You know, you ought to see today, you can't buy nothing unless you got your card or a chip. So they preparing you for this mark of the beast. So our salvation is nearer than we believe, because we're at the end of the end, man. Yahweh Shai is about to come. He's about to return. That's why you're seeing all these so-called UFO sightings now. The chariots. Because he said in the end days he would show himself. He's showing himself. Verse 12. The night is far spent. The day is at hand. That means when he said the night is far spent, that means this rulership is about over with. So the world as we know it today is about to end when Yahweh Shai come. You know, that's why he said that the day is at hand. The day is at hand means Yahweh Shai is about to return and deliver those who was faithful unto him, those that was rehearsing his law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability, that was calling on the Father through his name, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and that was out here in the highways and byways teaching, you know, warning our people of the disaster that's coming. Verse 12, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. What do you mean by let us cast off the work of darkness? It's time to stop being a partaker of this world. It's time to get out of these churches, these mosques, these Jewish temples. It's time to start rehearsing Christmas and Easter and Valentine's Day, all these wicked holidays. It's time to stop eating pork, shrimp, and lobster and all these unclean foods the Most High said we can't eat. It's time to stop trying to sleep with other men and women. It's time for the women to stop trying to sleep with every man they see. He says, let us therefore cast off the works of darkness. That's casting off the works of darkness. And let us put on the armor of light. We just went through this whole lesson showing you that the law, statutes, commandments are the light and the light to your life. The light that's going to give you life in your soul, in your body. So that's your armor. Our armor is what? There to protect you. The law, statutes, commandments is here to protect you. When you rehearse them, you show the Most High you love them. And when you show the Most High you love them, it says angels encamped around those that fear the Most High, that love him. Verse 13, let us walk honestly as in the day. Let us walk as in the day. That means let us walk out these law, statutes, commandments. You know, it don't matter who around. Let us do what the Most High asked us to do. Verse 13, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in routing and in drunkenness, not in charming and in wantonness, not in strife and in envy. See, what do you mean by not in routing? You know, that's that marching and stuff that Martin Luther King and them was doing, you know, that's been part of these riots. We ain't supposed to be doing that. And in drunkenness. And in drunkenness, that means stay out of all these different religions. Get out of Christianity, get out of Islam, get out of Buddhism, You know, the Nation of Islam, 5%ers, get out of these gangs, these Bloods, Crips, folks. You know, that's what it mean by let us walk honestly as in the dark, and not in rioting and in drunkenness. You know, and it can also mean, no, don't be out here dead drunk. But that drunkenness right there means to get out these different religions, man. Don't be out here protesting with these clowns. Be out here marching with these Black Lives Matter. Don't be out here with these clowns, man. You know, our fight is spiritual, man. The Most High got us. All right? And it says, and not in routing and in drunkenness, not in, I can't even get the word, I can't even pronounce the word. Routing and in drunkenness. Drunkenness is get out these different religions. Okay, he says, not in chumbering and wantonness. Now, when you look up this word chumbering and wantonness, that means to not be laying up in your bed, to not be laid up all the time, having sex all day long, and wantonness at clubs, partying, getting drunk, wanting to party every day, sun come up to sundown. That's what that means, chumbering and wantonness. Let's don't be wanting to have sex all from sun up to sundown. Let's want to be in these clubs at parties from sun up to sundown. Your life is just a big sexual party. That's what chumbering and wantonness is. And it says, and not in strife and in envy. You know, let's don't be out here starting stuff. And let's don't be out here envying our brother. Because the Most High is going to give us all the same rewards, which is going to be levels to it. But that the elect and the 1/3 is going to be delivered, and the Most High is going to take care of us. You know, but verse 14, but ye put on the Lord Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, and make not provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So he said, do not make provisions for the flesh. That means don't be going out here being partakers in the worldly events. You know what I'm saying? Don't be going out here celebrating Halloween and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these things. You know what I'm saying? Don't be going out here trying to going to clubs every single day, partying from sun up to sundown, just drinking and wanting to have sex. You know what I'm saying? So let's don't fulfill the provisions of the flesh. You know, so it says, verse 14, but put on ye the Lord Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, and make not provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So we got to, you know, practice this word and don't be idle, so we don't fulfill our lustly and fleshly desires. So we don't do the wickedness and fall back into darkness. So we don't do the things the Most High don't like, so that we can continue to walk in these law, statutes, commandments, and be pleasing in His sight. So with that being said, I'm going to end it. I pray that you was edified. You know, I just want to say, I pray that you was edified, that you can learn from this. You know, let's just rehearse these law, statutes, commandments, man. Let's let this be the light and the life of our life. You know, so I just want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Shalom, Israel.